Hello everybody, this is High Treason back to play more Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Mega Drive. When the start button will work. I've always wondered about the English names in this. Oh, speaker English! Spring Yard and Scrap Brain. Did they not get those mixed up then? Maybe it was Scrap Yard Zone and Spring Brain doesn't make much sense, actually. But Spring seems more related to Clockwork, which was the original name of Scrap Brain. What does brain have to do with work? Well, it does, doesn't it? Because I suppose... I don't know if you can see the relation between brain and something working in the sense of a machine there. That could be what happened. Could be Scrap Machine Zone then, I suppose. So then what does spring and yard have to do with this? Unless it's spring as in the... what's all this curb up on CPU writing about? Anyway, I never understood that. But, no, it's like, I don't know, perhaps. I think I'm starting to see the logic of it now. See, sometimes if you just talk, even to yourself, which is what I'm effectively doing, I mean, I'm indirectly talking to my audience, but how do I even know anybody's even going to watch this thing? But, no, that's besides the point. It's like, sometimes you just talk to yourself, you can resolve things, and maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe they didn't mix them up. Ah! Too close to the end of the stage for that to happen now. Look, it's right here. Yeah, it doesn't change anything if you get all the emeralds anyway, really. It doesn't do anything significant. I've got plenty of time, there's only 6 in this game. Spring, early... I don't know, it's like on the outskirts. Why is it a yard? I'm trying to remember. I remember studying a bit of Japanese. I don't know how to speak any Japanese or anything, but I have a very basic understanding of how parts of it work, but it is a very, very basic understanding. I don't know a lot about it. There's not really much point asking me. I wouldn't be able to tell you anything that was really useful. I know that most of their words end with a vowel. I find that peculiar, or at least it does when you Romanise it, because I mean, it's written in... it's not written in English, it's kanji they're using, I think. But, kanji, which I think it's kanji, it's more representative of what it's trying to talk about, as opposed to a character that should form a sound as is in the Roman alphabet. I think, I'm not sure. Just something like that anyway. That's why it looks like trees and stuff, I expect. That's at least what I was told. I mean, all we can go on things we know is what we're told, which intrigues me, because it's like, okay, so when I remember something, how can I prove that that actually happened? It's like, well, I can't prove... Oh, I always forget to jump there! I'm too rig short! I need those rings. I refuse. But no, like I said, what if my memory isn't accurate about something? How do I know that I existed 2 minutes ago? Because all I've got to go on is what I remember in my head. And what does that count for, really? Does that count for anything? Well, it doesn't. It's not solid. I can't prove it. It's like... Hang on, the 100s only gave me 10 points. Oh, I remember figuring that out. Yeah, I've had disassemblies of these games and gone through them with a fine-tooth comb. Know quite a lot about them. And I have a Game Genie, don't I? So you never know. We might mess about with it at some point. If you can get your hands on the math to convert hex into Game Genie codes, then you can have real bloody fun if you can get a ROM of the game and an emulator and just fiddle around. You know what's changed and how to do it. Once you figure out the ASCII set and everything, you can have some real fun with these things. It's another wasted invincibility power up here, I feel. I mean, the Game Genie, it's effectively handing you a hex editor for the game. That's what they did. Why can't they do this again now? I want one. Where's my Pro Action replays and stuff? I tell you what, if you can get me a Pro Action replay, nah, I'd never buy an Xbox. Don't like it, because I know the kind of people that play on that thing. I don't want to be seen in that crowd. It's half the reason I won't buy an Apple computer. Not because the thing itself sucks, it's because the users do. I'm not saying that everybody that uses Apple is a dickhead, but 90% of people I've run into that used one where because they thought they were better than everybody else. Like, well, I use Linux a couple of times. Does that mean I'm better than you? Try to avoid Linux though, because it's useless. As is Windows. As are all operating systems today. Missed the 90s. And all we had was things like Sega Mega Drive. No operating system, no fan base to worry about because you didn't have the internet to run into those people. I lost all my rings again. It's okay as long as I don't die. I mean, the rings are effectively handing you infinite life. I think there are quite a few rings left in this stage before the end there. I might be wiser going up there, hadn't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Shall I or shan't I? That's a little sentence that's always stuck in my head, and I don't even know why. I just remember these, like, teenagers being sat... I was only about 4 years old, I should add. But I remember these teenagers being sat in the car park of the local little supermarket when I was a kid. And one of them was, like, got hold of a section of the, like, the drainage in the floor. And they were like, shall I or shan't I? And like, the mates just looked at them as they, like, ripped it up out of its place. It's like, you know, I don't know, that's always just stuck in my mind. And it's... I don't know why. It's Dr. Robotnik. Look, it's Dr. Eggman. Win, 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 win. How far in are we? Zone took longer than I think it should. It doesn't seem to have taken long, but I know it did. 8 minutes. Ah. Oh. Managed to cut halfway through this. Yeah, now you see that wavy effect in the water. We didn't have that on our European version of this game either. Man, Sonic Team sucked. Failed to release a load of games. I want Sonic 16. I want Sonic Extreme. I want all my cancelled Sonic games, and I want them now. You owe me them, Sega. And I like Sega, but I want those games. I want to play Sonic Extreme. If that had come out, I don't think the N64 would have stood a bloody chance. Because here's something I'm going to let you all in on, right? I hate Mario 64, and I've never liked that game. But you admit that anywhere, and people, even fans of Sega, will bash you. I'm like, why? I do hate that game. It sucks. I remember the spikes at the last minute. I'm like, it sucks. What is there to like about that game? It blows ass. He's like, it's me, Mario. I'm a salad in a 3D.
I only got to 15 levels this time, even though you just played the Yoshi's Island that I had 8 levels in 6 worlds, which is a total of 48 levels. Not to mention that there was the secret level for every single world, so you can add another 8 worlds to do that.
So that's 48 plus 8. And wasn't there a Zone 9? I can't remember. No, they're in. Yeah, because Zone 9 I think was what I wrote those secret levels under in a little walkthrough book I wrote when I was a kid. It's not very good. But I was writing walkthroughs as early as 1994. I'm not kidding. With graphics, I used to draw all of like the graphics. I remember one for Duke Nukem 3D. I had like about 8 pages devoted to every single combo switch in that game. I remember the N64 came out and it became harder to draw things, so I just drew everything really blocky like the graphics looked. I thought the N64 had worse graphics than the Super Nintendo because of how like polygonal everything was. It's like, this is disgraceful. Call this an upgrade, it sucks ass. Didn't like the N64. I didn't even want one. I was like, I want the Sega Saturn.
Buy me the Sega Saturn. Even Mario wanted the Sega Saturn.
I always get a bit lost here. That's why I've gone quiet. I'm just trying to get my bearings. Oh, don't talk to me about bearings. One of my bicycles is a 1937 Rally Tourist. Now, I've never had the wheels off it. I ain't had it very long, really. But nonetheless, I mean, 1937 is pretty old. Needs tyres. 28 inches by 1.5, and that's fine. You know, we can always get tyres for these things. It's no big deal. But it's like, okay, so we need these tyres. I got some. A little harder to find than your average size tyre now. I mean, the wheels are huge, but no, if I hadn't messed about there, I could probably got those rings. What was that crunch anyway? But nonetheless, I got those. I've had the front wheel off, and the cones that hold the bearings in was split on one side. I'm like, that would explain the strange feeling whenever I turned right. So I mean, yeah, I'm glad I took that off. I had spare cones and axles, so I just replaced the whole axle and a whole lot of bearings. But I mean, that holds the bearings and the wheel onto the axle, so if that had actually fallen out, I mean, by design it shouldn't, unless it really shattered. You know, it'd just make the wheel seize up eventually, but it's like, if that had actually come out on the road, my wheel would have gone off centre, and as I'm assuming the metal for the axle won't be much better, then that axle could have snapped. I might not be sat here right now. I mean, I've been out on it today. It's like, good job I replaced those cones. Problem is, I have these shiny black bloody bearing cones sticking out the side of the wheel now. I'm like, those don't look right. I want those to get dirty. Because, I mean, obviously all the nickel plating's gone off them. Guess we got 100 rings. It's going a bit fast here. This is going to get intense. No! Oh man, you got to admit that was elite skills right there. Music's gone. One of the channels is muted. I much prefer this version. It's a bit calmer. Music fucks up a lot there. Bloody hell, I reckon. I mean, I'm awesome at Starlight Zone. So, we should have these emeralds in the bag. Oh, heck. Screw it. Let's persist. I thought this was Act 3. Apparently I've diddled around. Now this is kinda counter-intuitive. Oh, wrong stage. Of course, it's Act 2. I am dim sometimes. Maybe I was a blonde girl in a past life. Alright, now that's just disgusting. Now you're all going to be imagining that and fapping over it. Oh, bloody hell. Do you see the glitch at the right hand side of the screen there? Yeah, I tend to leave air bubbles quite late. Not because I'm stupid, just because I know where the air bubbles are in the level. You know, I know they wouldn't be horrid enough to leave you with none, so I'm like, what's the point? And in rooms like this, I'm definitely not going to bother, because it's like, well, the air's there, look. So if I start running out, I can get up there in the 5 game seconds. Which is probably closer to about 15 RL seconds. IRL. I even heard there's no respawn points in RL. FPS Doug. The army. It's basically like FPS, but with better graphics. But what happens if I get lag out there, man? I'm dead. Like, I even heard there's no respawn points in RL. What do you do when you've got like me and you're born to play FPS? I guess there's nothing left to play FPS. You know you can still drown when you're invincible. Next air bubble, I'll stop. There we go. I'm pretty certain you can do this whole section here without ever having to stop, but... Yeah, just get him slightly off screen, all his balls disappear. His balls disappear. If that happens, I never want to go slightly off the edge of the screen. I shall make a note of this for... Ah, you... That's what happens when you have a little bit of momentum. It doesn't matter, why am I worried? I've got 1 ring, it's enough. I know I'm going to get all the Chaos Emeralds now, I think I can calm down about it. Actually, I need to hurry up, don't I? Jeez, I mean this part's running long. I knew I should have left this zone to be its own video. Well, this will be the long part. You have to have a long part. I mean, this playthrough's probably only going to be 3 parts long anyway. So, you know, savour the moment. You have made it, time to chill out and take a piss. I can't yet, I've got another turn to do. There we go. You have to press the opposite direction of where you want to jump. So if I press right and jump, it'll go a lot further. So it just launches him, look. Don't know if that was the way you're supposed to do it, but it works. If you don't do that, it just gets stuck in an infinite loop, basically. Rings! This must be my reward. I don't have anything against Labyrinth Zone. Don't know why people have a general dislike for it. I do prefer the 8-bit version of it though, especially with its kick-ass 1930s music that it's got going on. Honestly, I can just see that like in the background of some 1930s film, and I believe it actually was Scythe-haired. So that's interesting, because I always imagined Sonic would be like a 1930s cartoon. Like, look at the box art, you could put him right into Tom and Jerry or something. But then, of course, you'd have your Roadrunner aspects going on and stuff. It's aspects, hang on, they developed some of them games. But nonetheless, you know, is a traditional Western world cartoon character. He's not meant to be like animated style like everybody sees him now, in my opinion. That's not what they were going for. I mean, this is Sega trying to get their Western audiences properly interested, you know, to beat the NES, because that was very popular in the United States. The Master System was apparently more popular over here. We sold more of those than the NES. Nintendo's not having any of that because they didn't distribute to most European countries, as it turns out, or there was a lot of them that Sega would distribute to, so, you know, Therefore, Nintendo argues that this statistic isn't fair. Well, I say, screw you, Nintendo, because if that rule applies for Sega doing things like this, like not distributing to a particular area and such, then it has to apply to you. If you didn't ship your console to this part of Europe, you sold less units as a result, it's your poor business decision, and therefore the statistic stands. Ooh, I could do with being in there. Look at this room, I like it in here.
It is a Sonic Hedgehog, oh yeah.
Actually, have you had... Ah! Oh, it doesn't matter, it's third act, isn't it? It's true, that just means we can get 100 rings again. I need to hurry up. I'm going to stop talking so much. I slow down a bit when I talk. It's unfortunate. Whee! Collision mapping's not bad there, actually, for the time, I suppose. Ah, it works. Hang on, I shouldn't have done that. It reset the music. It's going to make it hard to gauge how long I've got left in vulnerability mode. Having said that, as per usual, there's nothing worth being invulnerable to. Lag gets pretty bad sometimes in these levels, I think. Oh! What the hell? You probably could even hear the clicking of the jump button. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. You get about 3 seconds after that runs out anyway. Pretty certain he probably takes some air into his lungs, but... some water into his lungs, I mean, but... Hey, who hasn't done that before? I think we've all had water in our lungs. It's good for you. No, I'm going for it. Stop offering me air, I don't want it. Uh-oh. Better get it right, hadn't I? Dicing with death. That was fun. I should do that more. Ah, you suck. Stupid game. Hurry up. People will be getting bored of Sonic the Hedgehog. They'll be like, I wish that high treason hadn't turned into a console fag on us. I haven't turned into a console fag, don't worry. We'll still be getting PC games on this channel. As soon as I can finish this goddamn zone. Yeah, don't worry about it. There's no point in rushing, is there? It just ruins things. I think I rush myself too much a lot of the time on here. So basically, you know, I'm taking a new approach, which is I'll take as long as I damn well please. You know, nobody ever said you had to watch this stuff. If it's taking too long, don't watch it, or come back and watch it later if you actually do want to see what happens. I mean, this game, it's not important. Everybody's played this. You know, I'm only doing this because I enjoy, you know, playing games. And I've always kind of run a commentary on them. This bit's hard as hell. Oh, suck. Collision mapping isn't so good there. I thought I had rings. Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever. But this bit sucks. I thought I had rings though, so that's why I wasn't being as careful as I might. But no, I remember the first time I played through this level, I was probably about 12. It took me weeks to get past this bit. It might be worth me going, oh, the shield's not on this bit, is it? That's okay. This is just excellent. Excellent. I like that word. It sounds like what it means. Like, this is incredibly irksome. I find this man to be rather irksome. Possibly the first person in history to call Robotnik irksome. Oh, not you again. Bitch. Bint. Come back here, I'm not done with you yet. Whoa, could run off the screen. Oh well, nonetheless, I'm High Treason. I shall see you next time on Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog. Probably be uploading something between it, probably still Duke Nukem 3D. 25 minutes? Jeez! That's silly!